Hello, welcome to Villa Rosa's Ooh La La Charcuterie Evening. My name is Kathy Strachan and I have been the Executive Director here for 24 years. For those of you who usually attend our fundraising dinner, thank you for adapting to this new experience and continuing to support Villa Rosa. Welcome as well to those of you who are new to us and perhaps hearing about Villa Rosa for the first time. Whether or not you're familiar with Villa Rosa, you can imagine that this past year has been a challenging one for us during the pandemic. In the spring of 2020, we went down to just a few essential staff on site with the other 24 day staff working from home. We've gradually been able to bring back most of the staff to work on site with the continued use of masks, eye protection, frequent hand sanitizing, and social distancing. The impact of COVID-19 and the stress it caused for both staff and residents is almost indescribable, but I am so proud of how Villa Rosa employees and residents have adapted to the necessary precautions and continue to provide a safe haven for mums and babies. What you may not know is that Villa Rosa has been in Winnipeg since 1898. It was started by the Sisters of Misericordia to care for women pregnant outside of marriage. To be unmarried and pregnant in 1898 was a very serious matter, and often the young women were cast out on the street by their families with no means of support. At first providing just shelter and support, the sisters grew to partner with professionals in the community to offer education, counseling, prenatal care, and programming. In 1965, Villa Rosa was incorporated as a community organization and became one of the first organizations to be funded by the United Way of Winnipeg. Villa Rosa continues to celebrate its history and operates as a not-for-profit organization that offers a safe and healthy place to live for pregnant women in need who are often struggling with homelessness and addiction. Many have grown up in the child welfare system or moved back and forth from their First Nation to Winnipeg many times through their childhood. This disruption in their education often leads to them dropping out of school or falling behind their peers. What Villa Rosa offers is a chance to get back on their feet, a chance to finish their education, a chance to believe in themselves and their future, an opportunity to work with a counselor to talk through their plans in a non-judgmental setting where they can take the time to make decisions about their future and their baby's future. We believe that education is the key. If we can assist a young woman in getting back on track with her education, she can then see a whole new future. Many of our residents are the first to graduate high school in their family. Most never dreamed that they could go to university, college, or take training that could earn a living outside of being on social assistance. This is where your donations come in. The funds raised tonight go to our endowment fund within the Winnipeg Foundation for Scholarships, as well as to support Villa Rosa mums to high school graduation. We have given out over $105,000 in the last 20 years and have supported our graduates in becoming social workers, educational assistants, artists, and mechanics. One of our graduates is a labor and delivery nurse at a Winnipeg hospital and often assists in the birth of babies of residents and staff alike. Another past graduate was the only female construction worker at the site of the renovation of the Winnipeg International Airport. We have graduates in different provinces going through post-secondary education, automotive mechanics in BC, and accounting in Toronto. Your donations make a difference. Education creates the opportunity of a life for a young family that is self-sustaining and breaks the cycle of poverty. Please have a look at our virtual auction and bid high and bid often. If you'd prefer, please consider making a monetary donation. You will be giving a young woman a chance at success and an opportunity to give back to our community. I'm very pleased to introduce you to one of our scholarship recipients who makes us proud every day. Layla Nipanak would like to tell you her story.
Hi everyone, my name is Layla Nipanak. I am a single mother and a full-time student at Red River College. I am taking community development and I'll be graduating with my diploma in May. I have a daughter, Nova, who is 2 years old. My life is pretty busy, but it's full of hope. I want to share with you the steps that I took to get to where I am now. I was placed into the care of Child and Family Services at the age of 4. I was 6 years old when I was placed with a family out in Niverville. It was a great home and I had a childhood that every child dreams of. Things were good until I reached the age of 14, and that's when I became severely depressed, when I started learning more about my biological family and why I wasn't allowed to live with them. This was a huge turning point in my life. I withdrew from family and friends in school. I turned to a bad lifestyle, and this eventually led me to living in group homes and lockdown facilities. I was reckless, and when I turned 18, I found a job and I turned my life for the better. I focused all my time at work and it kept me on a good path. The company I worked for went bankrupt when I turned 20. I turned back to old friends and eventually got caught up in that old lifestyle. I cut off friends and family and turned to addiction. I was homeless and depressed. I felt like my life would never get any better. When I was 23 years old, I found out I was pregnant. At that time, I was relieved and overjoyed with the unexpected news. My daughter gave me a reason to change my life. I knew that I wanted to raise her in the best way that I could. I wanted to give her a life without worries, trauma, or hardships. This little bundle of joy became my motivation to do better. Immediately, I called my family. I knew that I needed to start by reaching out for supports. I had no idea what I needed to do, and I needed somebody's advice to get started. My mom told me that I would have to start by going to treatment and getting stabilized, so I put myself into a treatment center, and it was there that I was referred to Villa Rosa. One thing that I cherish about in life is the beautiful journey of pregnancy. And I'm so truly grateful for all the wonderful supports that were available to me at Villa Rosa. They made the experience of pregnancy an unforgettable one. I learned everything I needed to know about caring for my newborn baby. Being pregnant, I never felt isolated from anyone because I was surrounded by ladies who were going through the exact same thing. We would share stories and symptoms and compare each other's belly sizes. It was such a nurturing environment. The most important thing for me was to think about my future. I was engaged and I completed all the programs that they had to offer, and I completed my grade 12. I had a supportive counselor, and together we created a case plan. I wanted to set myself up for success, and all the staff were there to support me. I could not have done all of this without the staff and the volunteers in the Parent-Child Center. I knew that I could focus on my studies and success because my daughter was being held and rocked and played with by all these wonderful ladies. I graduated in June 2018 at Villa Rosa, and I did it in front of everybody who was rooting for me. This was such a special day. It was an honor to be chosen for the Independence for Education Corey Lepp Memorial Award. That day was the most memorable of my life because at that time I knew I was truly supported and empowered to continue in the right direction. The scholarship allowed me to focus on my schooling rather than financial worries. It helped me to pay for Nova's childcare fees and the transportation I needed to get to school every day. I was able to succeed and get into a routine with my daughter without having to worry about who was going to watch her and how I was going to pay for it. I want to thank everyone that is supporting this fundraiser so that other women can receive scholarships like this in the future. Things are great now. I'm going to be graduating college in a month. And after college, I plan to find a job in the community so that I can help others in the same way that people help me. I want to continue to be a good role model for my daughter. I'm working hard every day to be a little bit better than yesterday, and I'm so grateful for everyone that helped me along in my journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Layla. We're so proud of everything that you have accomplished. Thank you again for taking part in Villa Rosa's Ooh La La Charcuterie fundraiser. Please take part as well in our online auction over the next week so that we may give future scholarships to women like Layla. Thank you.